Talks on ending the Russia-Ukraine war are set to begin in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. After leaving Israel on Sunday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Riyadh, along with National Security Advisor Michael Waltz and Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. The U.S.-Russia meeting comes amid the backdrop of President Donald Trump's phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin last week.
We're moving along. We're trying to get a peace with Russia, Ukraine, and we're working very hard on it. It's a war that should have never started.
Do you expect Zelensky to be involved in these conversations? What will his role be?
I do. He will be involved, yes.
Based on your conversations with President Putin, what do you think he wants ultimately in Ukraine?
I think he wants to stop fighting. I see that. We spoke long and hard. Steve Witkoff was with him for a very extended period, like about 3 hours. I think he wants to stop fighting.
But while Trump says Ukrainian President Zelensky will be involved in the peace negotiations, Zelensky has notably been left out of the summit in Riyadh.
Ukraine will never accept deals made behind our backs without our involvement. And that is yet another reason why this war cannot be decided by just a few leaders, not by Trump and Putin, not by me and Putin, not by anyone here in Munich sitting down with Putin alone. We must apply pressure together to make real peace.
Zelensky is not the only leader who has been sidelined in these negotiations. The EU has also not been invited to the table. Now European leaders are gathering in France for an emergency summit on Ukraine, discussing whether to send peacekeeping troops to the Russia-Ukraine border. Trump's warm attitude towards Putin, as well as comments made by U.S. officials on Ukraine and NATO, has raised anxieties in Europe that Washington may be looking for a swift end to the war that may include key concessions to Russia. And while Kyiv is not slated to be a part of these talks, Trump's Russia-Ukraine envoy will be in Ukraine later this week for a, quote, dual-track set of negotiations as the Trump administration attempts to end this almost 3-year-long war.